Herbie and Chris. Happy New Year. First of all, guys, we had that little cut-in, right, to set the table for what might happen. And as you correctly forecast, there was still a lot more to be sorted out. I guess, Chris, I'll just start with you. And I'd wonder how you'd frame the championship resolve of Georgia, because it was absolutely required to edge a brilliant performance from Ohio State. What did the Dogs show you?
Well, first of all, Scotty, Happy New Year to you. And the ends of years and the dawning of New Year's are always a time for celebration, but also for gratitude. I'm just so grateful to be a college football fan and be able to help document this, the two games that we saw today. You're dead on. There's never been a semifinal day like this before in the playoff era. Yeah, Georgia's resolve was there, but so was their strength and their performance in the fourth quarter, which is what the DNA of the program is about. It's what they build towards. An 18-3 edge in that fourth quarter. But they only led, I said, for less than 2 minutes of this game, and were twice down double digits. Remarkable.
Yeah, it was remarkable, and very fitting that Stetson Bennett had that moment, right, Scott? I mean, think about where he was a year ago during the regular season, trying to fight for credibility, and finally climbs the mountain last year and wins it, and then comes back this year as the guy, you know, as the leader, as the guy they turn to, and for the game to come down, their championship hopes, trying to get the back-to-back, to come down to that last drive, and he's got to drive him down this field and put a touchdown on the board, and he didn't blink. I mean, that's who Stetson Bennett is, and it was very fitting that he was able to put that drive together and ultimately win the game. But then we said upstairs, boy, he gave Stroud a lot of time. Be careful. Even without Marvin Harrison and Cade Stover, you know he could potentially get his team into field goal range, and he sure did. And
Bennett said that we left CJ too much time. He knew it.
He knew
it. You could see it. You could see it on his face.
Scotty, they're at the 31 where I think you just showed it, about 24 seconds to go, and with a couple timeouts, you're thinking maybe they try to run. They ran one. I think they lost a yard. They didn't get very much positive momentum there to try to get in the field goal range. And then it came down to Ruggles, who's asked to do a lot there to try to hit that big one.
Yeah, I want to get to the Ohio State piece of this in a minute, but Chris, you talked about Georgia DNA, and I can't help but rewind the tape a bit and think about when they were playing Bama in games where they led for basically the entire game, and it was Alabama who was able to win late, right? I mean, you leave games and you think, how the hell did we not win that game if you're Georgia? And now they are a program that has a forged belief, and it's been earned through results. You know what I'm saying? And I think you see that both in the fourth quarter of the game against Bama and in the fourth quarter of this. I mean, it becomes self-fulfilling, doesn't it?
When they lost 7 in a row to Bama, Scott, in those 7 losses, 4 times Georgia had a lead in the fourth quarter. So to get over that hump, to outplay Bama in the fourth quarter in Indy, you're right. That's when they can say, okay, it's the DNA of our program because we've got the results to back it up, and now it really is their identity.
You know, everywhere we travel with College Game Day, it could be anywhere. We could be at North Dakota State. There's always a "We Want Bama" chant. Well, we've kind of kidded this year that I think they might need to consider changing that chant to "We Want Georgia." Now, it's a little premature. They just won a semifinal game. But if they climb that mountain again next Monday, then they are. They're that team that has earned the right to be not just with Alabama. I think they'll be a program that a lot of people will look at as they're the new bar in the sport with Kirby Smart.
Back-to-back's tough. Bama did it once. You know, the great USC teams did it, and the Nebraska teams in the mid-'90s, but it's so rarely been done.
And the era is so different now. And I do want to at least get an opportunity to tip our cap to Ohio State before I bid you guys good night. Because, look, this is a program that's far beyond platitudes of, hey, way to battle, right? This is a championship program. They want to win championships there. But I think the way that they left the field after they lost at home to Michigan and that taste that they had to eat for a month and change, you saw that tonight. You saw a proud effort. You saw a championship-level effort, and they come up ultimately a kick short. I just wonder, Herbie, how would you frame what Ohio State demonstrated in the 60 minutes of football they played?
Yeah, you just touched on it. I mean, 35 days of scrutiny. Every time they did an interview down here in Atlanta, it's why should you be here? Can you win against Georgia? And they got very defensive, and I think they got very frustrated. Showed up as an angry football team tonight. And I just tipped my cap. My dad was a captain at Ohio State. I was a captain at Ohio State. And I walk out of here, of course, it's about Georgia advancing. Could not be any more prouder of Ryan Day, C.J. Stroud, and Ohio State, and the way they played it and the way they laid it on the line tonight. That's all you can ask for. You're going to win some of those games. You're going to lose some of those games. But when you play the way they did tonight, to me, you walk out of here disappointed, but not the way you felt, obviously, when they lost to Michigan.
Beautifully put. It makes me proud. I got nothing to do with either school, but just be proud to be a part of the sport. When you see TCU's performance against Michigan, that wild one, and the Horned Frogs, zero people gave them a chance. Not even the Horned Frogs would dare to dream about this.
And they'll do it again next Monday.
Yeah.
Zero. No one's going to give them a chance again.
They won't.
And
they're a tough out.
They are a tough out.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.